Thank you so much for watching Riff TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview.
And there she is, Hurricane Nita. How you doing here? How you doing, Nita?
So good.
Almost
Thanks for
said
having me
hurricane
back.
again. So, yeah, good to talk to you again. So, yeah, you're out on tour. We'll get to that here in just a few minutes. But first of all, I think the last time I talked to you, your football team hadn't won the Super Bowl yet. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. It's fun taking home a little bit of hardware, I
Yeah,
have to
well,
say.
you're welcome since you took our quarterbacks.
You know what? I take no responsibility for that, but I'm happy it happened.
I don't know if you've been paying attention, but it's funny how the Lions have been scoring all sorts of points. I think they lead the NFL in points. They can't win any games.
Oh, brutal. Well, Goff's a great quarterback. He really is,
Mm.
so you've got good tools there. That's all I can say. I live with a long-suffering Saints fan, so I totally get it.
Yeah. Tell Josh we said hello. But
I will.
so anyways, yeah. So are you still doing your? I think I read somewhere that as far as your gig at the stadium, you're going to go back onto the second part of the season and do that. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So my last show of this tour is November 6th. I will be back at the stadium November 9th. So as soon as I can get over there, I will.
Yeah. Do you miss doing that kind of thing?
I do. Yeah, of course. I was really lucky with, I was with Alice for so many years and he tended to take Sundays off. So it was a brutal schedule for me. I would get off stage at 11 p.m., stay over in whatever city we were in, Uber to the airport at 3 or 4 a.m., fly straight to the stadium, go from the airport to the stadium, play straight from the stadium back to the airport, red eye to whatever the next city was. So it was a tough schedule for me, but I wouldn't have traded it for anything. If I was taking Sundays off on this tour, I would do it again. But sadly, this tour doesn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's unbelievable. That I mean, you could have been, and of course with the time change and everything, they had to throw you all off, huh?
Oh yeah, it was brutal. It was probably the toughest schedule I've ever made for myself. But totally worth it.
Now, when
100% worth it.
when it
I would do
comes
it
to
again in a heartbeat.
when it comes to playing with Alice Cooper, now you said he takes Sundays off. He's always done that, or it just happened to be the way that the tour has worked out, or is that kind of his thing?
He typically, Alice it's no secret, he's a really religious person. He does like to go to church on Sundays. So I think it's maybe a bit of both. It's kind of the way the routing works out. And also I think he just does like to take Sunday and have that as a day off.
Now you play with Alice for 8 years, and of course, you've I'm sure you've talked about this. Are you happy with your decision to go from Alice to Demi Lovato?
Oh, I've never talked about it. You're the first person to ask. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure.
I had to. Yeah, it's been a really, really cool experience. 8 years in the same place is a long time. I'm actually super, super still very close with the Alice camp. Wow, we talk all the time and just trying something a little different, having a great time so far.
Yeah, well, the reason I ask now is because how many shows do you have under your belt with Demi?
I think we just started the US tour. We also did a short South American tour. So we've done 10 or 15 shows by now.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. So it's like now, you kind of have a little bit of time to reflect, and that's, I guess, where are you happy with your decision? So now you have some shows under your belt.
Yeah, yeah, it's been really, really fun. Getting to play in front of a whole new audience is an amazing experience for any musician. Getting to bring what we love, heavier side of music and shredding guitar solos and big, guitar moments to a tour that didn't really have them before. So it's really cool. I thought it was a really cool move of Demi to take this step into a more rock oriented direction. And I'm excited to be a part of bringing that to life.
And how did this come about? I don't know if I've ever read that story. I'm sure you've talked about that as well. But how does it come about that I mean, you're in Alice Cooper's camp, and it's weird because I've done, hundreds, maybe thousands of interviews. I'm not sure if I've ever interviewed someone that's kind of gone in a completely different direction like you have.
Yeah, I was actually out on my solo tour when I got the call. My solo band was opening up for Black Label Society, and I was about to, 2, 3 days removed from going to Europe with Alice, and I get this call asking if, saying that Demi Lovato is going in a rock direction, wants to put together an all-female rock band for this upcoming tour. Would I be interested? And I was like, of course, like, how could you not be excited at an opportunity like that, and so we went through sort of this process. There wasn't any formal audition, just more speaking with her musical director and her team. And I think that they wanted what I could bring to the table, sort of like that more seasoned performer, seasoned in the rock world. So I finished out the European tour with Alice and then came straight into rehearsals with Demi and did the first TV appearance 48 hours later, I think. It was just like, hop, skip, and a jump, and there we are. And now we're, you know, two tours in, really. We did this South American run, which was incredible, and now have, a good bit into the North American run and having a great time.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, listen, there's a lot of people out there that like to be comfortable and kind of just, kind of do the same thing. It's like an old pair of shoes or whatever. Are you the kind of person that will stick your foot in the water and try different things?
Yeah, and I think it's so important to do stuff like that as an artist and as a musician. You can't stay in the same place too long. This is why I do solo music, why I've always done other stuff, clinics and whatnot outside from just doing my one safe, comfortable gig. You have to push yourself. You have to push yourself in your abilities, your versatility. You can't just keep playing the same songs over and over and over again, or you cannot grow,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. So, what is it like going from a legendary rocker like Alice Cooper to a pop artist with Demi Lovato? What's the transition like?
Um, it wasn't really a difficult transition at all. I think the biggest change for me was just, in every hired gun position, you have to find your voice in that style of music. So I get really lucky that I get hired in gigs and opportunities that they're like, hey, we want Nita. So, no one's asking me to completely change my style or change how I play. I'm just always figuring out how, what does Nita sound like in this context? So if you listen to my solo music, this is pure, unadulterated me. That's what I sound like as a
Mhm.
guitar player. If you listen to what I played in Alice Cooper, it's very different. It's very different to my solo music. And that's because that's the Alice Cooper version of Nita. And now, if you come and see a Demi Lovato show, you're going to hear a different version because this is what fits in with this style of music. And I would venture to say that the solos I'm playing in Demi's show are actually a little closer to my personal style than what I was playing with Alice because I wasn't really trying to fit in that more, I don't have to fit in that more classic rock, pentatonic, you know, box now. I can play more modern, I can do sweeps and tapping and all that kind of stuff. And it fits in really nicely with the way the songs sound.
Now, you just mentioned on tour and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, you're here in Detroit coming up this weekend, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. So, what other bands are on this tour?
It's us and Royal and the Serpent at the moment. And then after the New York show, Royal and the Serpent will jump off and Dead Sarah will jump back on, who
Oh,
are
no
just
kidding.
so incredible. We had Dead Sarah at the beginning of this tour and they are just so amazing. Demi has a song actually with both of them on this album. She has a song with Dead Sarah called Help Me,
Mm.
and she has a song with Royal called Eat Me. So works out really nicely. And we perform both songs with both bands. So when Dead Sarah's on tour, we play the song with her, and when Royal's on tour, we play the song with her as well.
Now, is there ever a time when you're on tour and you look at Demi and you say, "Why isn't no one getting their head cut off or hung?"
It's a whole different show. It's a
I'm
whole
sure.
new show. It's no Frankenstein, no guillotine, no monsters coming out. But it is a very high production show. There's a lot going on. There's video and really cool production elements that we didn't have with Alice. So it's the same but different, apples to oranges.
Okay, now I've talked about this with you before, and I'm sure you've mentioned this a bunch of times. But there's been injuries you've sustained on stage with Alice. Is there anything close to that, like with this new tour?
I'm babying myself right now because I've been touring with a torn meniscus since May.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually not as injury prone as I usually would be because I'm taking it a little easier. I have surgery scheduled at the end of this tour between Rams games and everything
Mhm.
else I have going on. So right now I've been playing through the most serious injury I've ever had, and really just trying to take care of that and make sure it doesn't get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, get like a cortisone shot or something before you go on stage.
I've had two. I now can't have any more because it's too close to my surgery date.
Okay.
So yeah, now it's getting tough now, but we're making it through.
Yeah.
No one knows except the people that know that I'm hurt. So now
Okay.
you all know.
So we've just let the cat out of the bag.
I mean, it's not a secret. I've posted about it. You know, it's no big secret. I've posted very, very publicly what the recovery's been like, what the rehab has been like, what supplements I'm taking, you know, just trying to make sure all I can really do is keep it under control. And it's just the realities of running around on the stage for 20 years. Every once in a while you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah. And I see that, you turned 7 years sober over the summertime here, when I think when you guys were in Brazil or something.
Yes.
Does that ever scare you when you just talked about supplements or whatever, or your injuries or what have you? I know when my daughter had surgery back in the wintertime, they had her on oxy and stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't know about that. And it didn't agree with her very much. Yeah, does that ever scare you?
Oh, I don't take anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I take turmeric and fish oil, you know, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. I'm not taking any painkillers.
Yeah, because my doctor, or her doctors, gave her that, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this, and it didn't last very long, and she got off it pretty quick. But
Yeah, good for
did you?
her.
Yeah, did you hurt yourself working out, exercising, or playing?
Oh, of course I did it on stage. I always
Okay.
do it on stage. You guys have seen me sprain my ankle on stage, both ankles actually. And now, yes, I took a weird step off the stairs. It had been hurt. It had been inflamed for a while. It had been painful for a while. So I think whatever happened on stage was the final straw.
Yeah. So now on stage, it's this is so strange because with Alice now, he's got Kane Roberts back, and Kane Roberts was actually, weirdly enough, one of the first rock stars I ever talked to in my life when I was at a radio station back in like 1990. He was doing his solo tour, and he happened to call the business line, and I just answered it because I don't know, I was bored one night, and I'm talking to Kane Roberts for 20 minutes. I've never met him before, but what are your thoughts on Kane Roberts?
Sorry, you broke up at the end there. Could
Oh,
you
I was
repeat
just
that
gonna
last
say,
part?
what are your thoughts about Kane?
Oh, I'm a huge fan. I
Yeah.
mean, anybody that's heard me talk about my favorite Alice Cooper songs has heard me talk about Kane Roberts.
Mm.
I mean, my God, you know, you ask me, I'm sure you've asked me in the past, what are your favorite Alice Cooper songs to play live? And I always say, you know, the Kane Roberts era songs. I just heard they're playing Freedom on this tour, which I'm actually a little put out by this because I have been wanting to play Freedom for like 5 years, and we never got in the set, and now they're doing it. So if I go back to Alice at some point, they better keep it in there because I want to play that song.
Well, I was gonna
um,
say that door's not closed, right?
no, no, in no sense of the word.
Right.
No, not at all. But Kane and I are very cool. We've done rock and roll fantasy camp together. We have kept in touch for years and years. When we added Roses on White Lace into the set, I was texting him, asking him for advice on certain parts of the solo. And then when he got back into the band, he was texting me, asking me for, you know, my thoughts on parts of the set. So we have had a really mutually supportive career the last few years. Kane and I played on his solo record a few years ago, called The Beginning of the End. So we have a great friendship. I just love watching videos of him playing because I'm such a big fan of his. And it's exciting for me as a fan of his analysis to see him back in the band.
And it's so exciting too to see him look just like he did back in the day.
Yeah, he's so jacked. Like I used to be like, I felt like I was like, you know, kind of a fitnessy member of the Alice Cooper band, but he puts me to shame.
Yeah, Alice is, or I mean, on Kane, man, I just remember him like in his Rambo stance with his guitars and different things, and I think I saw him back in the late '80s with Alice. It's so cool, and I'd kind of forgotten about Kane Roberts, and all of a sudden, when you left the band, his name started twirling. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. You should listen to that solo record. It's good.
Yeah, I'll have to check some of that stuff out because, like I said, he kind of fell off my radar there for a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a song with Alice and Elisa Whitegloves from Arch Enemy. That's really cool. The song that I played on is called King of the World. Really, really cool. I'm sorry, the song he did with Alice is called The Beginning of the End. The record is called The New Normal. So yeah, that's the name of Kane's record. Now I'm Kane's publicist. You should check it out. It's
Yeah.
very good.
Now, does he primarily kind of float around Los Angeles?
I believe he's LA based. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because that's maybe where, sometimes here in the Midwest, we don't hear some of the stuff like you guys do. I mean, even though we're all kind of connected by this internet, kind of out of
Yeah.
sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying?
Totally, totally. Well, there you go. That's my hot tip for the day. Kane Roberts, New
Yeah.
Normal.
There you go. So speaking of solo stuff, what do you got going on?
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
I was going to say, speaking of solo projects, you have anything going on in the works?
Yes, I just released a single called Summer Storm a couple weeks ago. It's the second single from my forthcoming album. This one is instrumental, so kind of takes me back to my roots, what I'm known for.
Mm.
And the next single with a guest vocalist will be dropping very, very soon. It's someone I'm extremely excited about, one of my favorite singers, and someone I've been saying I've wanted to collab with for a really long time. So very excited to get that out in the world, just putting the finishing touches on the music video, and then you guys will be able to see it.
All right, so kind of like a David Draymond thing from a little while ago.
Yes, exactly. My new record is going to be about half and half instrumental songs to guest vocalists. So you're going to have a lot more cool stuff like that coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, because as soon as you said, instrumental, I thought that maybe there wasn't no vocalist, but that's it, huh? So let me ask you about this because this was an interesting thing that somebody told me about one time. What if you have a guest vocalist that comes in and they're just not doing it for you? What do you do?
I'm so sorry. The connection keeps breaking up.
No,
I'm getting like half of each sentence.
yeah, I got you. So what if like you have a guest vocalist and you have a sound in your head and the guest vocalist comes in who's somebody that we know or whatever, and you're just not moved by it or not into it? Does that ever happen?
I think when you're collaborating with someone, it's so important to embrace what they do as well as what you want. And it's tough, like there's a reason why I'm a solo artist and I don't have a band because I don't play well with others a lot of the time when it comes to my own music. Um, but I think I got all of that out and controlled chaos. I did, the writing, the production, engineering, everything myself. So I really embraced the collaborative spirit with this upcoming record. And if a guest vocalist did something that I was like, well, it's not exactly how I pictured it, I would offer suggestions, but also really relax the reins and let people do their thing. Because at the end of the day, it's not really a collaboration if I'm just telling someone how to do it. I might as well just hire somebody. So there are definitely things on this upcoming record that if I had it, the original way, it would sound a little different. But that's the beauty of collaborating with different people. It's a blend of two people's ideas.
Yeah, that's a good take. So you said half and half. So what are we looking at? 5 or 6 guest spots?
I think it's 6 and 6, if I remember correctly. It may even now be 7 vocal and 6 instrumental. I haven't looked at the final number in a while.
And when's this going to drop?
Looking at early 23, like
Okay.
the beginning of 23. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll be going out on a solo tour then, or is your schedule not allow that right now?
My schedule is fluid right now. I will be doing, you guys see how many solo shows. I've done 63 shows this year with my solo band, as well as 2 Demi tours and 4 Alice tours.
No
So
kidding. Wow. Yeah.
anytime I can go out with my solo band, I will. It just has to, like any day job, it has to work around your day job.
Yeah. I guess there's something to be said about you on stage. It's like part of the yin and the yang, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Guitar clinics, I saw you got a couple of them coming up. You like doing that kind of thing?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
The guitar clinics, what are your thoughts about doing them?
I'm gonna try getting off my hotel Wi-Fi and see if that helps me. Just 1 second here.
Yeah. It's the world we live in right now, I guess. So can you hear
It
me now?
is. Although I think that was a good move. Can you still hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you fine. I've been able to hear you fine the whole time. So
That's what matters.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Clinics. I think
yeah,
you said, do I like doing clinics?
yeah.
I love it. Um, Fitting clinics in on my days off is one of my favorite parts of touring because I am a guitar player's guitar player. I love talking about guitars. I love talking about my guitarist specifically. So I love doing Ibanez clinics because I can just gush about my signature guitar, the Ibanez Jiva. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad we were able to schedule a few for this upcoming tour because it's just a treat for me.
Hmm. And what are your thoughts when you see like young women and young ladies inspired by your guitar playing to pick up a guitar? I know it's kind of a generic question, kind of one you've probably heard before, but like I have my stepdaughter has a stepdaughter, and she's starting to discover music, and it's kind of like this is kind of neat. You can kind of mold them a little bit and shape them and kind of turn them on to new things.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's something that I am seeing a lot in my new gig. It's something I'm seeing so much. This is sort of what I had in mind when the Demi Lovato opportunity came up was imagine if we can inspire all of this generation of young women that look up to Demi. Imagine if we can get them putting a guitar in their hands or a bass or drumsticks, and that's the beauty of having an all-female band out on a tour like this. And I'm seeing it happen so much on my social media, in person at shows, getting stopped after shows by fans. I mean, if you watch any of the videos that I've been posting, as soon as a guitar solo starts, you hear this uproar in the crowd that you just don't hear at rock shows, because rock fans are used to hearing guitar solos, like a dime a dozen. Every show you go to, you hear great solos, and that's why I love rock music. But a lot of these fans are not used to hearing these big solo moments in shows, and you feel the reaction, hear the reaction in the room, and that was exactly what I was hoping would happen. So I think exactly what you said. We're inspiring the next generation of young women and, girls, guys, whoever wants to play. And that's really exciting.
That is interesting that you bring it up because I'll admit I haven't been to very many pop shows. I think I saw Taylor Swift once or something like that with my daughter when she was young. But I guess I never really thought about that before. That yeah, are there guitar solos at those kind of shows? I don't know.
Yeah, I saw a statistic that Taylor Swift was the biggest influence on girl guitar buying or something like that. Like the biggest reason that girls picked up the guitar in 2020 or so. It was some statistic like that. Taylor Swift being the most influential female guitarist.
Yeah.
And I got asked a lot what I thought about that, and I love it. Like, I don't care if someone's getting more or less or whatever recognition. All I care about is that girls are picking up the guitar and learning how to play it. That's what excites me. And to be a part of making that happen, it's not really a pop show, to be honest with you. It's someone who's historically known for pop playing a rock show. But it's just cool. It's just, I can't say enough times, it's just cool to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I think like what Taylor does and what you do are kind of like two completely different things. But she's kind of up there with the acoustic thing, kind of, but you're up there ripping and shredding.
Totally. It's a totally different thing. Oriante and I get compared a lot, and there could not be two more different guitar players than Ori and myself. Like, Ori can do things, with her style of playing that I couldn't play in a bajillion years. Like, her blues technique is so fluid and incredible. We are two totally different guitar players, but it always turns into Ori versus Nita, so it's interesting to see the female guitar comparison. Like, maybe we'll see Taylor Swift versus Nita, now that I'm more in that world. But again, all of this manufactured competition, this manufactured stuff between guitar players, all it's doing is fueling more people to talk about girls playing guitar. And that's what's important.
Well, final thing here for you. I see that you're in your hotel room or whatever. What is a normal day on tour like for you? Are you playing tonight?
Yes, I'm playing tonight. So I got in late last night. Woke up this morning, went to the gym, had my protein shake, did some emails, did some interviews. I'll go to the venue in about an hour and a half for sound check, play the show, get done, rinse, repeat. Same thing tomorrow.
Do you have a Peloton?
I have a Peloton membership. I have a Peloton at home. I did a Peloton workout today, actually.
I thought that I've seen you do that or something. Yeah.
Yes, our hotel gym has a Peloton today, and I was texting our few little Peloton people in the group saying, like, make sure you go down to the gym. They have a Peloton. So yes, I had a great Kendall Toole Peloton class this morning. Big fan of the Kendall medal ride.
She's my favorite too. I did a 20-minute one day, and of course she kicked my ass. And then I went to I think it was Adrian Williams, I think his name. And then I did a half hour upper body. But yeah, I love the Peloton. I got mine in March, and it's kind of a game changer.
Total game changer. I got mine like so many people during quarantine, and absolute game changer. And I keep my all access membership, and I use, the app when I'm on the road. And it's a total game changer. I love it. I love the lane break too. If you haven't tried the lane break workout, that's I love that. It's like a video game where you get points by changing the resistance on the Peloton and pedaling faster and slower, like depending on the beat that they call out. So it's really fun. If you haven't tried Peloton lane break, I would give that a try.
Have you ever met Kendall?
No, but I did invite her to the New York show, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, because she's She does some great rides. Yeah, like you said, the metal rides are the hardest. I've done the 45-minute Metallica ride twice, and it's like it's
Yes, that's a
ass
great one.
kicking. Yeah. So
It's such a good one. I love her metal rides. I love her pop punk rides. Also really, really cool. And I just like, her, Jess King, like so many of the instructors are legit rock and
mhm.
metal fans and not just like, okay, well, we need to get a metal ride in the pipeline. So, pick some songs and put one in. Like they know the words, they know the groove, you can tell that they're in it to win it.
Yeah, I was pretty fired up on my 50th ride about a month ago. I got a shout out from I think her name's Erica or something.
I have never gotten a shout out, but I have a secret Peloton name. Like, I'm Hurricane Nita on every other platform, Instagram, Twitter and stuff, but on Peloton, there's certain things I just want to have my privacy, so I have a secret name, so I probably will never get a shout out.
Well, you can follow me at meltdown_WRIF for everyone listening who wants to
Nice.
follow. So, well, Nita, thanks so much for the time. Good luck with everything. I'm super happy that that this is really it seems to be very fulfilling to you, and that's really cool.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot.